Hi, welcome to Adult Team 101, the Health Edition podcast. So, today we are privileged to have a very special guest with us by the name Mr. Bernard Sieme, a public health inspector and currently pursuing a master's in public health. Our guest is going to help us understand the impact of malaria and explain malaria itself. Mr. Bernard, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, brother.
You're welcome.
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay.
Sure.
I really appreciate for you inviting me, and just a quick hi to the viewers out there.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, as you heard in the introduction, we'll be talking about or discussing about the impact of malaria and understanding malaria itself. Mr. Bernard, before we go into the main topic, would you take us back to where it all started? When did you feel the spark of becoming who you are today?
Okay. I would love to give credit to my uncle.
Okay.
Yes, this started back in 2012 when I was in grade 11
Oh, great.
at Serenge Boys. Yes, so he is actually a public health officer, and I was just inspired about how he would impact the community. You know, he would come up with all these ideas that would prevent diseases,
Sure.
that would actually stop pandemics, to actually stop outbreaks. So it was a very good first-hand interaction. So from there, I picked it up, and I love science, I love biology and geography. So it just married together, and I thought to say, I can be a public health officer as well.
So inspiring.
Yes.
Very good. And that's very special about you. You know, you got your inspiration from your immediate relatives. You know, for others would mention big names out there, but for you it was very special, I say.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. So before we go into this main issue, how do you feel or how do you observe that how has it impacted the community or Zambia at large?
Okay. First and foremost, according to Zambia National Malaria Elimination Center, we record about 2,000 deaths every year.
Of malaria?
Yes, just residing from malaria, and also 20,000 cases every day.
Every day?
Yes, these are
20,000.
statistics. Yes, every day. So already that's an impact.
Sure.
Second thing, you'll find that malaria has had an impact on our economy. You will find that, especially to families are going to spend money to go to hospitals, transport money. When they're admitted, they're going to buy food. You know, all those costs that we don't actually see, but those are affecting especially poor families. We'll also have loss of productivity. Imagine you are a worker and you are down with malaria. How are you going to produce something? Yes, so it becomes that burden. So malaria has affected the health and also the economy of the country at large.
That's really sad.
Yes.
And of course very insightful from you. So malaria is a very big case, I think.
Yes, it is. Actually, malaria is ranked as number 2 in Zambia for diseases that are life-threatening.
Number 2?
Yes, number 2. HIV and AIDS being number 1, and malaria is the second. So this is something that is very serious, even if people have been used to live with it, and it's like part of our day-to-day lives. People say, I've got malaria, like so casually. But this is something that is very serious and it's life-threatening.
You've heard for yourself that malaria is not as simple as we take it, but you've heard the statistics. This case is a very serious case which requires all of us to put in effort to mitigate and reduce the burden of this condition. Mr. Bernard, now let's dive into the main issue here.
Okay.
After understanding the impact of malaria, would you tell us what this malaria is? What is malaria according to your understanding? What is malaria?
Okay. Very interesting topic,
Sure.
malaria. Malaria is actually a highly infectious and parasitic disease. Yes, so this is a disease that will actually attack the red blood cells for people, which will cause to severe cases like anemia, just to mention a few, liver jaundice, you know. So malaria is also life-threatening, especially if it is left untreated or maybe mismanaged. When I say mismanaged, malaria can be mismanaged just from our own homes. There are these myths where people will say, I'm feeling fevers, I'm feeling chills, then they take, let's say, an antibiotic, and they feel a little bit better, and they think they are cured, but they are not. So the parasites will continue multiplying in the body, will continue multiplying and multiplying. So malaria is actually transmitted through an infected female mosquito. A female mosquito, because it's looking for blood to give its eggs. So upon drawing blood from your body, it actually injects the parasites in your body, and they travel down into your liver. So when they're in the liver and they've got enough nutrients, they multiply and go into your bloodstreams. That's why they are now going to affect the body in certain ways, that you start feeling nausea, you start feeling all these things, because it's producing all these toxins into your body, and it's also entering your red blood cells, attacking them, and reducing your levels of blood.
I see. So just there, you've mentioned that malaria is caused by an infected female mosquito.
Yes.
So outside or within our communities, you will find that one would come, or one would say, I have malaria because I got soaked of rain, or maybe because I ate too much of sugar cane. How true are those myths? I don't know, or reasons. How true are they? Is malaria really caused by one getting soaked by the rains?
No, actually malaria is not a disease which is associated with rains or anything. What is causing malaria is only a parasite. It's just that a person has been subjected to all these conditions that will favor the growth of this actually disease. So if not favor, it's going to make you more susceptible to actually acquiring this disease.
All right.
So sugar cane and rains, they do not contain malaria.
Because it's gospel truth in the communities.
Yes.
Whenever one gets soaked and then they begin to shiver, I don't know, to them the shivering is a classical sign of malaria. Hence saying I got malaria because I got soaked with by the rains.
Okay, so to answer that, malaria is also classified under febrile diseases, meaning it's got some fevers.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yes, but the only difference between malaria or just having let's say you are infected, having like a prolonged fever, is that malaria has intermittent fevers. Like after a duration, you're going to have some fever, it's going to stop. Then again, you're going to have some fever, but that's an indication of your body trying to fight out the infection. Yes, so it's not just a one-way thing fever, but it's in parts.
In blocks, in short.
Yes, in blocks.
All right.
That's better term.
Thank you very much for making us understand and really know what malaria is.
My pleasure.
Well, I already heard you say malaria is transmitted by an infected female mosquito.
Yes.
So what could be some of the predisposing factors that can lead to one develop malaria?
Okay, so predisposing factors. One, you find that the environment that we're staying in. If you're staying in a place like a swampy place, a place with a lot of bushes, overgrown grass, those are places that harbor mosquitoes. So that's one of them. Like you find yourself in an area where there's a lot of mosquitoes. So the chances of you actually being infected are very high. Yes. Another thing is lack of access to preventive measures like sleeping under a mosquito net.
Okay.
Or lack of.
Is it any mosquito net?
No. Thank you for that question. Actually, an insecticide-treated net. Yes, known as ITNs.
All right.
Yes.
Are they the same ones that these health workers distribute in the communities? Or I can even just get that one from these shops?
If you're getting from a shop, you need to make sure that you read the packaging, which should say insecticide treated net. It has to be treated. But the government of Zambia has actually helped a lot to reduce malaria with these massive campaigns. There have been massive distributions of insecticide treated nets. So that has really helped people. And people actually think when you receive an insecticide treated net, then it's the end. But actually, you need to be very vigilant. Go back to the healthcare environment and actually get these things retreated. The nets need to be retreated.
Oh.
Yes, because their potence, their power actually, it diminishes with time. Yes, it diminishes with time. So that's one of them. And also, the other predisposing factor is, I really love to call this as SBC.
SBC. Okay.
Social behavioral change.
Oh, okay. That's
Yes.
good. That's
Social
good.
behavioral change.
That's nice.
There's a statistic which says babies actually under 6 months don't get infected with malaria because they're always in overalls, they're in covered clothes, almost all the time. Parents
So
are
that can also
protecting.
help one not to get infected?
Yes. You find, especially in the early evenings from 18 to 19,
Yeah.
one needs to be in covered clothes. You need to be in covered clothes, covered shoes. You need to cover your feet so that you are not actually exposed to these mosquitoes that actually have the malaria parasites in them. So even our own behavior is actually a factor to us being susceptible to this disease.
All right. Wow. That is a very powerful explanation. As you've heard, he has mentioned one thing, that social behavioral changes is also a major, concern that we need to utilize to, prevent malaria. So after knowing that, would you also tell us, after one getting infected with malaria, and then they begin to see the signs and symptoms that you just mentioned,
Okay.
what is the first step that they should do?
All
Should
right.
they take it upon themselves and
So,
get treated?
before I even answer that question, I would love to emphasize that the general public should stop self-treatment of malaria. The moment you have symptoms of malaria, you actually need to go to the nearest healthcare center. You need to get tested.
Are there any specific signs and symptoms of malaria, specified to malaria, to say, okay, whenever you just start feeling this, I think you need to think in these areas of malaria? It's just a general signs and symptoms.
No. Okay, so I will separate the two. Signs are actually things that us, the healthcare people, or even just family members, can see. You would see lack of inactivity from somebody, and then symptoms associated with malaria are, like I mentioned earlier, intermittent fevers.
So that is the most classical sign.
Yes, most classical sign. Fever, you have headaches, you have stomach pains, joint pains, muscle pains, fatigue. All these are symptoms that someone will feel. And first thing, they should go to actually the healthcare center to get tested, find out if this is actually malaria, or maybe it's not even malaria, because even just flu will present itself like malaria. So someone needs to actually go and get tested. Yes.
All right. So we've heard you can only get malaria treatment when you are confirmed malaria positive. As our guest has said, malaria can only be confirmed at the facility and not in your homes. Therefore, he's calling a stoppage of self-prescription of malaria anti-malarials like Coartem. We should stop giving ourselves Coartem before we get tested. Be tested for malaria and be confirmed malaria positive, and then start Coartem. That's good. Mr. Bernard,
Yes.
you've passed us through to from the impact of malaria, what malaria is, its signs and symptoms, most importantly, the classical signs.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and after knowing this, you've already told us what the first step one should do. So, which is very insightful of you. All right, Mr. Bennett. Now we would like to know, or I would like to know, you as a health inspector who is currently doing, masters in public health. Yeah.
Yes.
Would you tell us what have you put in place as a health inspector together with the Ministry of Health of Zambia, to fight malaria? What are the measures? What are some of the measures, interventions that you put in place to arrest this, case, malaria?
Okay. First of all, I would love to commend the government of Zambia with massive campaigns to combat actually malaria. We've had a lot of massive campaigns with the government. The first one, which is vector control, which is under indoor residue spraying, where you would, I'm sure, see people in blue uniforms and masks,
carrying some load behind their backs.
Yes, carrying some loads. So those are spray pumps actually.
Okay.
Yes, so they spray in the houses, especially the walls, on the floors. That chemical has reduced the rate of malaria in Zambia.
Just there, some people in the communities, especially in our communities, our local community, do refuse that initiative, that chemical is harmful to the human nature.
Yes.
And they tend to refuse, people that go to offer that service. How true is that? Does it really kill people?
Actually, this chemical does not kill people. It's just discomforting. There's the odor that it produces.
Okay.
Or maybe accidentally you are not, let's say, told its effects. You put maybe part of your body to the surface of the wall, and you get that reaction, that discomfort, but it does not kill. It does not kill. So what is needed to be done is working with our local leaders, especially village headmen, who can actually help to sensitize, to actually tell the general public that this chemical is actually here to help you and not to kill you. So with the headmen, with also civic leaders working together with the government, we could actually change the mindset of people towards these chemicals. Another thing that government has done
So
is
just there on the chemical.
Yes.
For how long should one be out of their houses after the house being sprayed? The people love the comfort of their homes.
Yes.
Then you come in with the chemical and spray. Does it take days for them to get back into their homes?
No. Actually, it will just take 2 to 4 hours.
Oh,
yes.
you'd
be back in your homes. You would just either mop the remaining residues on the floors, and just make sure you don't come into contact with the walls.
Okay.
Yes, your skin or your body should not come into contact, as that chemical is still concentrated, because mosquitoes will actually lodge on the walls. That's why we're actually spraying on these walls.
Okay.
So you just need 2 to 4 hours, and you're back in your homes. You obviously get that smell of the chemicals and everything, but don't be discouraged or scared that this chemical will actually hurt you, harm you, or even take away your life.
So is it the same 2 to 4 hours that I can't be safe if I happen to accidentally come into contact with the surface?
You just feel a discomfort. It's not that it's going to really cause like injury, or maybe it's going to be a chemical that will cause some complications in your body. No, it's just that discomfort, because this chemical is strong, highly concentrated to actually kill these mosquitoes. Yes. So apart from spraying, there's also been massive distribution of insecticide treated nets. Government does that every 3 years
For free?
for free. Massive distribution of insecticide treated nets. So these nets have reduced the burden of malaria disease,
Okay.
which has been a very good thing. In addition to that, there's also this routine distribution of nets to pregnant women.
Oh, they are given for free?
Yes, they're given for free. When someone is actually confirmed that they're pregnant, they're entitled to actually receive a net. And when they give birth, that child is entitled to receive
To another net?
Another net.
Oh, okay.
So that's like 2 in 1. Yes,
Two.
yes.
Plus
Yes.
the general distribution, that makes it 3.
Makes it 3.
Really, you
Gov-
you guys are very serious in fighting this case.
I mean, government is putting in all efforts.
Sure.
Yes. Also, we doing community sensitization. Government has made sure to put in place cadres like community health assistants that will actually go to the community, give sensitization on how to actually prevent malaria, on what are the signs and the symptoms, yes, or what to do when you have all these signs and symptoms. So there's that community engagement that government has actually employed.
I think that idea is very much a good move, because talking of community health workers, engaging with their own community members, I think it is more effective than getting any other cadre from a different place coming to teach the community members about malaria. Others wouldn't want to feel or to accept that, but seeing their own,
Yes.
teaching them, at least the messages will be delivered well.
Yes. So
Yeah, I also recommend that one.
Yes, that's good, and it has really helped us actually a lot. It's really helped a lot, and also just the provision of these drugs, Coatem. That's also another way that government and health workers have been doing. We would actually, I remember when I was working at the health post in Chitebe, yes, we would actually go to the community with drugs. After giving sensitization, then we'll test people for malaria. If they have the malaria, we'll actually treat them just from the comfort of their community, without even them actually
moving to the facility.
Moving to the facility.
That was nice.
Yes,
I
yes.
hope, even in your absence, that initiative is still ongoing back there.
Yes,
Chitebe.
yes, it is ongoing. It is ongoing because this time we do have what we call community-based volunteers. Yes, so community-based volunteers are trained on how to actually test for malaria and treat malaria, which just happens in the community. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bennett, for everything that you've given us. I believe we've learned one or two things. Yeah, as finally, as we come to the end of the program, I would love you to give us, or give that one person who is watching us, a take-home message about malaria and its prevention. What's the take-home message that you're giving to that person who is listening us? From us?
So I would like to say we of health cannot end malaria ourselves, but we actually need the community. We need,
very important.
Yes, we need actually efforts, interest from the communities, from NGOs like World Vision, which has been actually helping the government, and also social behavioral change. People actually need to know that malaria is actually a life-threatening, serious disease. Let us stop treating ourselves from home. Let's stop self-medication. Once you have signs and symptoms, let's go to the nearest health center, get tested, get treated.
Very important.
Also, let us bury stagnant waters in our communities. Let us cut down overgrown grass around our homes, schools, churches. You could get malaria from anywhere. Yes. So let us.
Why cut two grasses? Why?
We are actually cutting tall grasses because these act as homes. Yes, of mosquitoes and infected mosquitoes. Northwestern, which we are in the Manyinga district, is one of the places in Zambia which is located as high transmission rates for malaria due to its natural environment. Northwestern has got a lot of trees, has got a lot of water bodies. So people actually need to fight this starting from homes.
So in short, they should, take the fight against malaria upon themselves before the government actually steps in.
Yes. People should actually fight this. Other preventive measures could be using mosquito repellents.
Oh, okay.
Yes, mosquito repellents. If those are, make sure around 18, 19, they're already placed. Close your windows, close your doors. Be in long sleeved, not like this that I'm wearing on you. Yes, we need to be in long sleeved and closed shoes so that there's no access of the infected mosquito to actually bite the person.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Well, that is a very powerful take-home message, as we've heard from our Public Health Inspector, Mr. Bernard Sieme, that we should take it upon ourselves to fight malaria before actually the government comes in. Well, as we end this show, it's been 22 on your screens, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, RNO22, as well as on YouTube, RNO22. Peace. Yo, thank you very much.
All right, bro.